Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the life of a fascinating figure who often flies under the radar, despite her incredible heritage and impressive accomplishments. We're talking about Tatiana Schlossberg now. If that name sounds familiar, it should. She's the granddaughter of President John F. Kennedy and First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. But to simply label her as a Kennedy is to miss the whole picture. Tatiana has forged her own path, making significant contributions in journalism, climate change, activism, and as an author. So, who is Tatiana Schlossberg beyond the famous family tree? Let's find out. Born in New York City in 1990, Tatiana is the middle child of Caroline Kennedy and Edwin Schlossberg. Her mother, Caroline, is of course the only surviving child of JFK and Jackie O. Her father, Edwin Schlossberg, is a renowned artist, designer, and author. Growing up in such a high-profile family meant a life that was both privileged and intensely private. The Schlossberg kids Rose, Tatiana, and Jack were shielded from the public eye as much as possible. A deliberate choice by their parents to give them a normal childhood, a luxury their mother never truly had. Tatiana attended the Burleigh School in Manhattan, an all-girls private school known for its rigorous academics. From there she went on to Yale University, just like her grandfather JFK and her uncle John F. Kennedy Jr. At Yale, she majored in history, graduating in 2012. It was during her college years that her passion for writing and environmental issues began to truly take shape. She was an editor for the Yale Herald, honing her journalistic skills and developing a sharp, inquisitive voice. After graduating from Yale, Tatiana didn't immediately step into a high-profile public role. Instead, she pursued her passion for environmental science, earning a Master degree in American history from the University of Oxford in 2014. Her studies focused on a really interesting and often overlooked topic, the environmental history of the United States. This academic foundation would become the bedrock of her future career. She wasn't just interested in the politics or the glamour associated with her family. She was digging into the very earth and history of her country. Her professional career in journalism took off when she started working as a reporter for the New York Times. Now, working at the Times is a huge deal for any journalist, but Tatiana carved out a specific niche for herself. She became a climate and environment reporter, covering everything from the science of global warming to the impact of policy decisions on our planet. Her articles were known for being incredibly well-researched, accessible, and engaging. She had a unique talent for taking complex scientific concepts and explaining them in a way that everyone could understand, without dumbing them down. She wasn't just reporting on the problem, she was exploring the interconnectedness of it all. For instance, she wrote about how our daily choices, what we eat, what we wear, how we use technology, or have a significant environmental footprint. This is a theme that would become central to her work. She wanted to move the conversation beyond abstract statistics and make it personal, showing people how their lives are directly linked to the health of the planet. This dedication culminated in her first book, published in 2019, titled Inconspicuous Consumption: The Environmental Impact You Don't Know You Have. The book was a game-changer for many people. It wasn't another doom and gloom sermon about the end of the world. Instead, it was a practical, often witty, and eye-opening look at the hidden environmental costs of our modern lives. She explored four main areas: the internet and technology, food, fashion, and fuel. For example, did you know that streaming a movie or sending an email requires energy from data centers that are often powered by fossil fuels? Or that the production of a single pair of jeans can use thousands of gallons of water? Tatiana broke it all down with meticulous research and a conversational tone. The book received critical acclaim and was praised for empowering readers rather than shaming them. The message wasn't to give up everything and live in a cave. It was about becoming more aware, making smarter choices, and pushing for systemic change from corporations and governments. She argues that individual action is important, but it's most powerful when it fuels a larger demand for a more sustainable system. What's really striking about Tatiana is how she embodies the values of her family while being entirely her own person. Her grandmother, Jacqueline Kennedy, was a patron of the arts and a fierce protector of history and culture. Her grandfather, JFK, inspired a generation with his call to public service and his focus on progress, famously launching the moonshot. Tatiana has, in her own way, synthesized these legacies. She uses her writing a form of art and communication to preserve our planet's future, which is arguably the most important public service of our time. In her personal life, Tatiana has maintained that same preference for privacy she was raised with. In 2017, she married fellow Yale graduate George Moran in a ceremony at her family's home on Martha's Vineyard. The wedding itself was a beautiful nod to her heritage. It took place on the 64th anniversary of her grandparents' wedding. She and her husband welcomed their first child in 2022, a son named Edwin, after her father. This made Caroline Kennedy a grandmother and added a new generation to the Kennedy lineage. Throughout her career, Tatiana has skillfully navigated the complexities of her last name. She acknowledges her heritage but doesn't let it define her. She uses the platform it affords her not for personal gain, but to amplify issues she deeply cares about. In interviews, she comes across as thoughtful, articulate, and deeply knowledgeable. She's not a politician, and she's not a celebrity in the traditional sense. She is a writer, a historian, and an advocate who is using her voice to tackle one of the most critical challenges facing humanity. Her work reminds us that everyone has a role to play. You don't have to be a Kennedy to make a difference. By understanding the impact of our own inconspicuous consumption, we can start to make small changes that add up. And by demanding more from the companies we buy from and the leaders we elect, we can push for the large-scale transformation our planet needs. Tatiana Schlossberg is a powerful example of how the next generation is taking the torch of public service and carrying it forward in new and vital ways. She's not just a descendant of a famous family. She's a builder of a more sustainable future. It's really inspiring to see someone from such a legendary family focus so intently on a single, crucial issue and become a true expert in that field. She could have chosen any number of paths, but she chose one that requires deep study, dedicated reporting, and a passion for educating the public. Her work is a testament to the idea that legacy isn't just about what you inherit, it's about what you build. And Tatiana Schlossberg is building a legacy of awareness, responsibility, and hope for a healthier planet. So, the next time you hear the name Schlossberg or Kennedy, I hope you'll think of Tatiana and her incredibly important work. Maybe even check out her book, Inconspicuous Consumption. It's a read that will genuinely change the way you look at the world around you and your place in it. She's a voice we'll surely be hearing more from in the years to come, and for the sake of our planet, that's a very good thing. Thanks so much for watching today. What do you find most inspiring about Tatiana's story? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. See you in the next one.